We all have fantastic memories of summer camp. Well, this year, Louisville Visual Arts and Waterfront Park have gotten together with a partnership that produces a very unique summer camp that I promise is nothing but fun and educational. Danielle Jackson joins us now. All right, Danielle, this summer camp is a little bit unique. Talk about the focus, if you would.
All right, so this summer camp focuses on the Juneteenth holiday, as you can see on our lovely coloring book made by artist Kayla Britt. And so we're talking about the Juneteenth holiday the week before the holiday, just so they can go into that week with some celebration and some appreciation for the holiday with some knowledge about it. So we talk all about equality and self-love and treating each other how we want to be treated while making art projects that are all about that. So we just finished our Crown project that's all about the Crown Act. That was passed in 2019. We've learned all about that in the acronym, which is creating a responsible and open world for natural hair. We've also talked a lot about history of hair, history of the bridge and our location, as well as the significance of the Ohio River. So our location couldn't have been any better.
You know, Danielle, what I find interesting also is, yes, we're celebrating Juneteenth, but you're doing it with a little bit of a Louisville slant too. Yeah. I heard names like Ed Hamilton, the famous artist. Of course, Muhammad Ali is involved. Talk a little bit about how you make this more Louisville-centric.
Oh yeah, so we typically will take a field trip over to the Ed Hamilton sculpture of Abraham Lincoln when we talk about the Emancipation Proclamation, and then we highlight some local artists who have really helped pave the way for Louisville artists like myself to just do the work that we do and continue to engage with the community. It's been awesome.
You know, when I think of summer camp, and I talked about this when we opened up this segment with you, it's fun, but it is educational too, which I love the combination, because I'm looking at kids who are smiling, having fun, but they're learning at the same time. So you mentioned this Crown artist work, and I'm not really familiar. So tell me, that's what they're working on now, is that correct?
So we just wrapped up that project, and now we're working on some model magic clay sculpting, but some of them are sculpting crowns. So I just let them be open and create 3D arts based on anything that they've learned this week, anything that's inspiring them around them, the setting that we're in right now. So some are sculpting crowns, some are sculpting Joe's Crab Shack, some are sculpting sunsets in the bridge. But yeah, so the Crown Act was passed in 2019 to make it illegal to discriminate against natural hair styles in the workplace. So it allows us to wear braids, twists, afros, and still be professional in the workplace. So it's been awesome. And I think it really loops in really well with the Juneteenth holiday, because we're talking about equality, we're talking about self-love, we're talking about the differences that we have, but also still finding a sense of community with those differences.
You know, I feel your passion, and these kids, that's contagious, so I love that. So talk a little bit about this backdrop that we have, the Ohio River. Do you implement the river at all in this week-long camp?
So the first day we talk about the significance of the Ohio River specifically, because this is the divider between the North and the South. So we do talk about the fact that when enslaved people were on their quest for freedom, once they got to the other side from the South to the North, that signified that they were in a place that was marked as free. So we talk about that, the privilege of being free, and then just how grateful we are to be free and to be able to all gather in this space and make friends, make diverse friends from all walks of life.
If you had to articulate, Danielle, about what's important about Juneteenth, it is an important holiday, it's a celebration. To you personally, what does Juneteenth mean to you when you talk to your friends about celebrating?
Juneteenth means freedom, and not just freedom for some, but freedom for everybody. It's a God-given right that we all are entitled to, and so it just means freedom, it means celebration, it means equality and joy, and joy is an act of resistance to me. So I make art that's all about the resilience of joy, and specifically Black joy as a form of celebration and resistance through adversity. So I love Juneteenth. I love that we have our own date to celebrate freedom, and I still celebrate 4th of July too, but it's good to have our own as well.
Well, on behalf of the city and the folks that are watching, thank you for what you do, because working with kids is so vital. And for them to understand, to feel good about themselves, to instill pride, is what you are doing. You know, it's a big task, but I bet it's a lot of fun.
It is, and honestly, it comes easy because I feel a lot of pride in myself. I try to incorporate self-love and self-pride to all my kids and teach them that they are divine just as much as I see light in myself. I see that same light in them, and we're all just gonna keep shining out here.
Well, Danielle, thank you very much.
No problem.
Danielle Jackson, once again, this is a combination of, yes, Waterfront Park, but Louisville Visual Arts, and as you can see, they're working on art projects as we speak. I just had a fascinating conversation with my next guest, who is Dr. John Chenault. And he is an expert and an historian when it comes to Juneteenth. He is also a member of the Jubilee Commission. Dr. Chenault, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And you've allowed me to call you John. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the Jubilee Commission. You've recently been appointed. What is the goal? What is the mission?
Well, the mission is actually to celebrate Juneteenth, which is now a national federal holiday. And that holiday is designed to commemorate the liberation of enslaved African Americans in 1865. So the Commission's main mission is to commemorate and celebrate that history.
Okay, John, tell me a little bit about, I found this fascinating, Kentucky's involvement with Juneteenth, with this proclamation and this statement that you're going to read. Tell me about how Kentucky's involved.
Well, Kentucky's involved, interestingly, because of Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. In September of 1863, Lincoln announced that, 1862, Lincoln announced that he was going to issue this proclamation that would free all enslaved Africans in those states that had seceded from the Union. Kentucky didn't secede. So Kentucky was able to continue with its enslaved population under its laws until the actual 13th Amendment was passed in 1865. But what was interesting about Kentucky is during the Civil War, 70%, the enslaved population declined by 70%
In our state.
in the state of Kentucky, because the Union Army was based here at Camp Nelson, and the Emancipation Proclamation provisions allowed formerly enslaved Africans, or those who became fugitives, to join the Union Army. And this became a magnet for enslaved Africans in Kentucky. And they flocked there, and many of them got their liberation by being involved with the Union Army here in Kentucky.
Interesting. Dr. Chenault, you read a statement that really kind of is a synopsis, or I guess really the beginning, the kind of what started Juneteenth.
Correct.
So tell me about this, what you're reading now and where it originated.
So let's be clear that even with the Emancipation Proclamation, which affected, or theoretically would have affected people who were still in the Confederate States, freedom came to people in the Confederacy at different times. It was not something that happened at one point. It was a gradual process. And it usually happened as Union soldiers moved into these areas in these southern states, and people fled behind their line for protection. So basically, on paper, Lincoln freed 3.5 million African Americans, but it took a long time before that actually generated, or basically, all of them became free.
Yes.
So Texas, being the most remote western state at that time, actually did not have a lot of Union troops. So the Emancipation Proclamation was very much delayed in being announced and enforced. So it wasn't until June 19th, 1865, 900 days after Lincoln's initial Emancipation Proclamation, that a general, Major General Gordon Granger, arrived in Galveston, Texas, took control of 2,000 Union troops, and proclaimed this. And this was basically posted around the city of Galveston, and the word got out from there. His proclamation states, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired worker." Now this goes on, and there's a few more sentences, but that's the gist of it.
So this really makes the Emancipation Proclamation reality. And as you
people in
said,
Texas.
it took, what, 900 days?
It took 900 days, and there are some other issues there. So it was 78 days, or 74 days roughly, after Robert E. Lee surrendered in Appomattox. But there were two divisions of the Confederate Army. There was the Western Mississippi Trans-Western Division. They did not surrender until June 2nd. So technically, they were still at war until June 2nd, and when the Major General arrived, that was 2 weeks later. The Confederate military installations in Texas had been shut down, and then they were able to go forward with this proclamation.
Well, you are a wealth of information and a great resource. So after all of this research, I'm curious, what does Juneteenth mean to you personally?
Well, it means to me that, particularly as it became a federal holiday a couple of years ago, with Joe Biden signing off on that and the Senate approving it, Congress approving it, it means that the country was recognizing in a real sense a second Independence Day. The first Independence Day did not apply to all people in this country.
Sadly.
But that second Independence Day really legitimized the statement and the principles of all people being created equal and enjoying equal justice and equal rights. So that's what it means to me, is that it commemorates that second Independence Day, the values of which we still have to live up to.
Dr. Chenault, thank you for sharing your expertise. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Dr. John Chenault, and now you know a lot more about Juneteenth, how it originated, and how we celebrate, and what it means perhaps to you as well. I am honored to be joined now by Dr. Vanessa McPhail, who is the Executive Director for the Mayor's Office of Equity, and we're going to talk about the Jubilee Commission, the celebration of Juneteenth. All right, first of all, thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, let's talk about this Jubilee Commission and what it's all about, and maybe some of the events surrounding the Jubilee Commission.
Okay, great. So the Jubilee Commission is a commission, and its main purpose is to educate the community about the significance of Juneteenth, provide events and cultural education awareness on why we celebrate Juneteenth.
And you've got some great events. So you and I were chatting a little bit, and I said, whenever you have a celebration, you have to have music, and you're going to deliver, right?
We sure do. So this is the third annual Amplify Songs of Justice, and we partner with the Kentucky Opera. And this is the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission's signature event. And it will be Thursday, June the 19th. The doors open at 6, but it begins at 7. And that event will be at the Kentucky Opera. And it's free, open to the public. We do ask that people get tickets, but they are more than welcome to join us. And yes, music is involved. And matter of fact, the concert features Songs of Justice, 5 civil rights songs commissioned by the Kentucky Opera in 2020, composed by Jarrell Williams, and lyrics written by Dr. Paula McCraney.
Juneteenth has a very rich history, but also there are people that you want to champion now. So you have some award winners. Talk to me about those, because I know you're excited, and they have to be as well.
Yes, we are super excited, and they will receive their award at the Mayor's Press Conference on June the 17th. And we are giving away 4 awards. 3 are individual and 1 is for organization. So our first award recipient is Miss Diane Porter, who will receive the Antiquity Award for the past. And our second award winner is Jonetta Roberts, who will receive our Now Award, which represents the present. And then Dawn G will receive the Hope Award for the future. And then lastly, for our community, that award goes to the Tiger Foundation. And it's the Village Award, which represents the community. And we're super excited to honor their contributions for what they have done to our community.
All of those, well deserved.
Yes.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the opera and the association with the Kentucky Opera and the music. We've talked about these award winners. There's another component here, isn't there?
Yes, so we also have partnered with Dare to Care. And so on Friday, June the 20th at 7:30, we are coming together with the NPHC, which is the National Panhellenic Council, the Divine Nine Greek organizations, and we are going to give food to those in need. It's a huge event. It's kind of like a drive-through, because we're in stations and we will help serve the community. We've done this for years in the past. It's a great event. We enjoy serving those in need, and we can't wait to be there. And just to let you know, the word agape stands for the highest form of love. That is the definition of agape. And so that day is Agape Day.
Dr. McPhail, you have covered all the bases here, because we've got music, we've got awards, and we're giving back to the community. All of that is so important. So this has been my go-to question, and it's important for me to ask you this. What does Juneteenth mean to you personally?
I think it represents not only the past and the freeing of our people, but it also represents hope. And I believe that we look to the past, but we also celebrate the future. And I honestly believe that it gives us hope and things yet to come.
So Dr. McPhail, you've talked about the celebration and some of the events, but there's much more. Where can people go for more information?
Okay, there's a couple places. They can go to our website. Juneteenth Jubilee Commission has its own website. There's also a website that the Louisville Urban League has put together that has all the events going on in the city pertaining to Juneteenth. And you can definitely find our 2 events on that community calendar of events.
All right, and that website is on your screen as we speak. Dr. McPhail, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
We've been sending you to a website for all the Juneteenth events, and one of them will take place at the Millionaire Marketplace. And my friend Nashon Tribute, that's her place. Nashon, nice to see you again.
You too.
You were a great guest. I'm so glad you're back.
Yes, I
For
am.
those who aren't familiar, tell them a little bit about your marketplace.
Okay, good. So back in 2020, we started a marketplace to showcase and highlight Black-owned business. And from there, it has grown into a real retail shopping bazaar where we travel around the different locations. And guess what? Juneteenth, we're going to be at 4th Street Live in the heart of downtown Louisville, showcasing many minority-owned businesses, and we're excited about that.
I love that. So for folks who want to see some of these businesses, maybe network a little bit with these businesses, tell me what'll take place, Nasha.
We have a array of great things taking place. We're going to have entertainment all day from 3 p.m. to 10. We're going to have a lot of local dance groups, drum groups. We have a list of all types of amazing theaters coming, and we're going to have food trucks with some really good food, special cuisines, as well as we're going to have a whole great community resource village, a play zone, a kid zone. And guess what? Whatever you want, a lot of line dancing with the boots on the ground.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time. We want everyone to come out. Everybody's invited to come out.
You know, it seems that the theme here is Juneteenth is about pride, and I know you're proud of the Black-owned businesses.
I am.
For folks who aren't familiar, again, at your marketplace, what will they see? What kind of businesses are there? Maybe name a few of your favorite businesses.
Okay. Yep. So we'll have all type of local artisans, creators, candle makers, soap makers, and jewelry makers. We have youth entrepreneurs who will be there. We got Fly Girl candles coming in. We have Town soaps that'll be there. And we have an array of them. And we got some new ones, which I'm really proud of. And one of them is a high school student. It's called 101 Clothing. So she said she makes her design based off of being unique. And we are so proud of that. So we got a variety of all kind of businesses and people and community coming all to one place. You can shop, you can network, you can engage with them. And so we want people to come all over from Paristown to Middletown, from PRP to Prospect. Everybody's welcome because we're one big family. We invite all to come inside and have a great time.
All right, so it's a Juneteenth Louisville celebration. Everyone is invited.
Yes.
This is your 5th annual.
Yes.
So obviously this has been very successful.
It has.
And Nashan, it means something to you because really that's what the Millionaire Marketplace is all about, pride. So tell me what it means to you, what Juneteenth means to you.
It means the theme of it, Ancestor Dream. So what we're doing around that is we're really just doing what our ancestors have fought for so many years, and we bring it to life together. And we are saying, you know what? Let us come together. Let us show people how to build community, and then let's love on each other and circulate our dollars and have a great time doing it. The beautiful thing about this is that we also going to have an educational component, which really gives us a time to remember Juneteenth when we really was actually free. And now as we're fighting a lot of barriers, we say, you know what? We are still working to become freer than what we have been before. So it's a challenge, but we take the challenge and we put a smile on it.
Nashan, you are one of the leaders in this community. And obviously you network very well. You seem to know everyone. So it's that energy of yours. I love your energy. So what do you recommend I drink or eat to get Nashan kind of energy?
Oh, well, you're going to have to drink some custom lemonade from the Millionaire Marketplace.
Oh, she's ready.
Yeah, you're going to have to get some custom food from our food trucks and our food vendors too.
All right.
So it means you got to come down on June the 19th from 3 to 10.
June the 19th, 4th Street Live, right?
Yep, June on the actual day. Everybody's off from work, so I don't want to hear no excuses. Everybody's off from work. No excuses. Come on down. Love on us. We're going to love on you. Have a great time and join the mission with us.
All right. So you heard it from Nashan Tribute. Once again, that is the 19th. It is Juneteenth, and it'll be happening at 4th Street Live. You can see her there. And yeah, I want that kind of energy. Well, today's Louisville Focus has been very educational. Of course, we talked about the Jubilee Commission. We talked about all the events at Juneteenth. If you forget any of those or you want to be reminded, check out the website that is now on the screen. We talked a lot about the history of Juneteenth as well, but the future is right here. Okay, kids, what would you like people to do?
Celebrate Juneteenth!